shame on YouTube for letting this stuff out there. They were so quick to put a strike against you and remove your video for saying the wrong thing during the previous administration, which was just actually proven to be mostly true. Yet this kind of stuff, which is far more damaging, what I would say is it's very important for people to fact check and do their own due diligence. Don't listen to what I say or you say and take it as gospel. I do my best to make sure that it is real, because you put your name out there as often as you and I do, we'd look like idiots real fast and don't want to listen to us. So we both try real hard to say the right thing. Stuff like that's very damaging. And just the two comments you made, no, the central banks don't do it as tradition. They're doing it now for the first time, maybe ever, where in coordination, they're massively buying it. And in terms of...
In a world drowning in lies, the truth has never been more precious or more rare. Andy Schectman, after thousands of interviews, just dropped one of his most explosive revelations yet. He's exposing how deception now runs from AI deepfakes to fake Warren Buffett clips, all while the real crisis unfolds in silence. A $500 billion hidden bailout, vanishing liquidity, and banks on life support. But that's not all. Andy connects the dots between this chaos and the rising power of gold and silver, the only forms of money that cannot be faked, manipulated, or printed into oblivion. Because when the system is built on illusion, only real assets will stand when everything else collapses. Stay locked in, because what Andy reveals next might completely change how you see the markets, your money, and the future ahead.
I've done 5,000 or 6,000 podcasts since 2019, as have you, but there's 30 or 40,000 of them out there, as are of yours. So people will take our snippets from our podcasts, they'll put their own words and images in and music, and then they'll do it to monetize their channel, clickbait, right? Well, and it really this one made me mad. And normally they don't. Like, I don't know who these people are. Normally they're flattering. They're using my stuff to have people come and watch their shows. But this one said something like, oh, silver's dire prediction, what happened? And I didn't even come anywhere near saying what the silver price was going to do. It was on Friday after the price collapsed a little bit, making it seem like Andy Schectman says it's all going to collapse, it's all over. That aggravated me. But the point of it is that there's deception everywhere. There's deception in AI, which is only getting more sophisticated. There's deception on social media, which again is in many cases I'm okay with, because it's getting the message out in a flattering way. They never asked my permission, but that one made me mad. I don't know who these people are. When we talk about, the Warren Buffett thing, I mean, you can easily blow it away. Since we've left the gold standard, gold has outperformed every traditional asset. It's not even close. Since 1971, it's not even close. And that's not even worth talking about it. And traditions of central banks prior to 2017 for many years, like 2008 through, or for sure 2011 through 2016, they were net sellers of gold. Most central banks are net sellers. The United States has been a net exporter of gold, and all of a sudden we're the biggest importer. But I'll say it this way, as do you, every week when I do these shows, I need to prepare, and I spend 2-3 hours a day, pretty much 6 for sure, sometimes 7 days a week, studying. And every story that I find that I want to talk about, I will try my damnedest to validate it everywhere else, running it through Google, running it through various forms of AI, searching for other stories, other validations, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, even through, people's best intentions. But something like that is anything but best intention. And, you have to wonder what the motivation is. And here again, shame on YouTube for letting this stuff out there. They were so quick to put a strike against you and remove your video for saying the wrong thing during the previous administration, which was just actually proven to be mostly true. Yet this kind of stuff, which is far more damaging on many levels and deceptive, intentionally gets the green pass, aggravates the heck out of me, to say the least. But what I would say is it's very important for people to fact check and do their own due diligence. Don't listen to what I say or you say and take it as gospel. I do my best to make sure that it is real, because you put your name out there as often as you and I do, we'd look like idiots real fast and don't want to listen to us. So we both try real hard to say the right thing. But no matter where you're getting information, do your best to fact check it, do your own due diligence. A little bit extra won't hurt. Stuff like that's very damaging. And just the two comments you made, no, the central banks don't do it as tradition. They're doing it now for the first time, maybe ever, where in coordination, they're massively buying it. And in terms of, S&P outperforming, you can go back to August of 71 and look forward. You can go back to the beginning of 2020, 2000 and look forward. You go back to the last 5 years and look forward. The S&P 500 has not outperformed gold. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So I don't know what else was said in that stupid video, but it's aggravating that the platform doesn't shut it down the way they tried to shut down all of us for trying to do the right thing for 3 years. We've settled for a long time, Dunnigan, that the banking issue is not over, and it's been muted, yes, for sure. But what this is, in essence, is a bunch of commercial real estate and residential real estate loans are going bad. Auto loans, they're all going bad. People aren't paying. They're running late. They're delinquent. No one's in office buildings. I was at my attorney's office in Minneapolis last week. They have 3 floors of an office building. Felt like I was in a morgue, literally. And they re-upped it. Like right before the pandemic hit, they re-upped a 10-year lease. I mean, in downtown Minneapolis, you could have 10,000 people on these 3 floors, literally, and there's no one there. It's crazy. But this is the kind of problem, not my attorney's office, but many like it, where they're delinquent. They're not paying. They're going into forfeiture. And so you have a bunch of these loans that are going bad, which makes the banks run low on cash. They're not getting their payments. So to stay afloat, they go and they hit the repo market, where this is where banks trade assets, typically U.S. Treasuries, for quick overnight loans from the Fed. I'll give you my treasuries. You give me some money, and then I'll buy back the treasury the next day or next week or whatever. It's overnight. It's next day. Some are longer than overnight, but that's why it's called repo. It means repurchase. Here's my treasury. Give me some money so I can pay my debt. I'll give you back the treasury, or I'll buy back the treasury the next day. Great. The scary part about all of this is that now these banks are pawning off their risky mortgage-backed securities instead of the safe treasuries. That is the sign of stress. That is what should be disconcerting. This is why the Fed injected almost $9 billion and opened up a $490+ billion emergency facility. Shh, don't tell anyone. No one knows about it. It's a $500 billion. And you don't do that unless something is beginning to fracture underneath the seams. And this is what we said would happen. And that's the part, that's why I'm so fond of the little by little, the logarithmic decay, because the little by little, these things that have been breaking little by little under the seams, instant gratification, even in information and in thought process, isn't quick enough for most people in this country. They aren't able to understand that these things take time. At this level, it is an ocean liner trying to turn. These are very big deals, and they're not getting fixed organically. And the problems with commercial real estate are only going to get worse, as are the problems with residential real estate. The only way the residential real estate problem gets better are for prices to go down and or for interest rates to go higher, not lower. That's what got us in this problem to begin with. Well, the commercial real estate is a whole nother animal altogether. You got all of these companies that realize, well, we're just as productive working away from the office as we are in the office. So why spend all the money? And it's creating a real problem. The banks are not out of the weeds yet. And when you see the Fed coming in and quietly doing this without, again, our media just is pathetic. Our media, guys like John Rubino, God bless them, guys like you, all the people who are telling the truth and getting the real information out, these are the ones that were shadow banned during the previous administration for misinformation that turned out to be true. But here again, where is the journalistic integrity? Where are the news media outlets talking about what is exactly happening? And what it means is the banks are in trouble. And not only that, no one wants to leave their money in the bank. They'd rather move it to treasuries, which short-term treasuries with disintermediating the bank, or even into money markets away from the regional banks and into the bigger banks. The problems are not done yet. And this is a good sign of it. When they are trading their mortgage-backed securities instead of their treasuries, they're in need for cash, and cash quick, and they're in trouble. It's kind of like, you're pawning off your wedding ring at this point, and hopefully you'll lend it to the pawn shop. Hopefully you'll buy it back. because your other assets are already gone. And it's a very scary sign, to be honest with you.
And that's the truth Andy Schectman continues to hammer home. In a world of deep fakes, digital illusions, and paper promises, gold and silver remain the real thing. As banks quietly bleed and bailouts return behind the scenes, only those holding tangible value will weather what's coming. If you found this interview eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered insights from Andy Schectman, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the truth the mainstream won't show you. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing like the real thing, baby.